Hey, what's up guys? So we're here to showcase off the new 2019 Exodia reverse win condition. The reason why I say it's reverse is you actually have to summon this card to your opponent's field while you have all of the Exodia pieces except for the head. That's just the way the new one works. But we are utilizing the Treasure Panda engine to go ahead and just give you all the ability to special summon a bunch of those Exodia pieces. Then you're going to go ahead and go into Saryuja, basically set up your board for the play, and basically it's just give and take. This is the only card that you really need to draw because the rest of the cards you can discard, you can go ahead and link summon, and then you'll put the other pieces into the grave that you need, specifically the true Exodia. But there it is, guys. It's basically an FTK, OTK, but we got a few duels, so we're gonna go ahead and check it out. Now there is an engine in here that you guys did not see in that specific video, but it is utilizing the Danger engine, and that will allow you to, one, go into Saryuja, two, also potentially throw in some spells into the grave for your Treasure Panda to completely go off and just give you an instant, easy way to win. And you know what's even funny with this is we are playing Cup of Ace, but you're going to be giving that to your opponent sometimes, courtesy of the new card that you guys will see later. But anyways, so first off, the guy's going to go ahead and Magician Navigation. He's just going to go ahead and go right for that effect, getting rid of the dangers because he might not know exactly what's going on here. I think banishing the Exodia part might have been the better option, but there are some Exodia players that will be playing like Levier, so there are options tactically if maybe some of your pieces get banished to get reset if you want to opt to play that. But we're also utilizing the legendary Exodia Incarnate in this one that you guys are seeing right here, which can still be another way for you to win. So now we're going to go ahead and special summon a bunch of monsters on the board. Just basically using them for link material is also just good. You can kind of play it out like a regular Yu-Gi-Oh deck, just with a bunch of link stuff. Excellent usage of course, getting rid of the Eternal Soul. Therefore being able to get rid of all the monsters. Then we're going to go ahead and see Obliterate activated, and then Give and Take, and then the true Exodia is there once again. So like I said, some of these plays are going to be a little bit different, and just to show you guys that you don't have to just win with that specific win condition. So we see Cup of Ace. It worked in our favor this time, but shout out to my boy Magus for this build. I actually built the Treasure Panda Exodia a long time ago, and it still won a lot of times with just the Exodia with the triple exclamation mark. Which is quite good. And then you also have Exodius, which can reset, and also it's just another free monsters. But pretty much the core concept is to get out Treasure Panda, utilize all the draw power cards, get rid of the vanillas, and then from there you're going to be able to get all the Exodia pieces in the graveyard. Over here we see the Dangerous Snake, and then we can go ahead and get Pot of Greed, the effect of it. Yeah, here's the Obliterate with triple exclamation mark. Yeah, you can win with just this card a lot of times. Just being able to bounce back during either player's turn, every single turn. And sorry, just going to go ahead and make Proxy. And then basically what you want to do is just make all of your link stuff condensed into one monster, which is not that difficult to do. And then just activate Give and Take. So it's just a Saryuja deck kind of at the end of the day. But that's just the way that this deck goes. But you don't always have to FTK with this deck. I mean, technically, yeah, you could argue that your opponent gets to start their turn. But as soon as their turn starts, you flip up that card. I mean, it's pretty much an FTK anyways. But that's just how Exodia is. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen this deck because every time there's a new Exodia, people want to test it out. And if you're playing this deck, just expect people to quit on you. It's kind of like Mystic Mine. People don't like to run into it. And I don't blame them. I mean, we're going to go ahead and summon it. In this instance, we are going to be summoning the Exodia head. But again, you don't actually need this. Now, what's funny in this instance is we did utilize that new card, Gold Moon Coin, and we gave our opponent an Exodia part. It's the legendary Exodia Incarnate. But you know what's even funnier with that is if you wanted to, if you really wanted to go for the maximum troll, you give your opponent the Cup of Ace because you could technically plus off of it. It's a 50-50 chance, but of course you got to show off the new cards here. Activate the Upstart Goblin, going for it, some more draw powers with, of course, the White Elephant and Wonder Wand. And we're going to go ahead and special summon triple Exodia parts. And then again, once again, just Obliterate. Really good to utilize that. Now, if your opponent makes a board, you definitely want to attempt to just get rid of the board. Because remember, you have to have only these cards on the field. But obviously, with the link summoning, that can definitely help out. But now that you guys have seen it, let's go ahead and hop into the deck profile in case any of you guys do want to try it out. So basically, your goal is to double Saryuja. The other cards are kind of there to maybe potentially get rid of like any other cards that your opponent has, and then once you go into your link setup, if you happen to have like 2 link monsters, or if you just need to get rid of any other cards, you just go ahead and go into one of these, and then from there, you just go ahead and obliterate your own card, and then you take game from there. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into the deck profile. So there are multiple ways to win in this deck. So this is one win condition right here. Obviously, getting all 5 pieces of Exodia, that's another one. And then you have true Exodia. So you actually have technically 3 win conditions in the deck. And then, again, we're utilizing that gold moon coin as well, which is hilarious. Anyways, so onwards with the deck profile. So first off, of course, all 5 pieces of Exodia. And then we got the legendary Exodia Incarnate. I also want to mention, you don't have to play this part of Exodia. You can completely drop this card because this can just be the win condition. But yeah, like I said, you can technically utilize this as a win condition. If you do want to play that, you can actually search pretty much everything in the entire deck, minus like this and this. You can search it off of Sandgame. But also, if you want to actually win via the effect of Exodia, put in Backup Soldier. You can run 2 of these, or just 1 of them. I recommend really 2, that makes things so much easier. Or just any other card that would give you potentially a card back from the grave. But anyways, yeah, legendary Exodia Incarnate, and then we've got the Bigfoot, 3 copies of Nessie, 3 copies of Treasure Panda. And then we've got the Danger Snake, 3 copies of the True Exodia, which is the new card. And then 3 copies of White Elephant's Gift. We have 2 copies of the Knowledge, 3 copies of Cup of Ace, 3 copies of Gold Moon Coin, 3 copies of Tri White. And that's going to allow you to get 3 of your Exodia pieces back. And then we have 3 copies of Wonder One, 3 copies of Give and Take, and 3 copies of Obliterate. Honestly, the only card you really need to draw into to pull off wins most of the time is going to be Give and Take. Which is just excellent for that. Another thing that you can run, which I actually really like, is Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk for 2 reasons. One, Summoner Monk is great just to get out Treasure Panda, but it also gets rid of that 1 spell card for you to go ahead and go into certain things, because certain cards, you can only activate that 1 of them per turn, like Gold Moon Coin. You could technically even run, if you wanted to, you could play the card that banishes the extra deck to draw power. But the thing is that you have so much draw power in this deck that you don't want to actually play that. I remember seeing that as a comment, like, why don't you just play the card, card Extravagance? The reason why is because technically you don't really need every single card. It's pretty much a Saryuja that you really need here. But the thing is that once you activate this for the rest of the turn, you can't activate any other cards with draw power effects. So that's why you don't play this card. You can also opt to run Allure of Darkness. There are a lot of cards that you do not technically need in this deck, since some of them are like once per turn. And like I said, if you wanted to play Summoner Monk to go into the Treasure Panda, that's an extra monster that you'll have. And again, that throws that extra spell that maybe you can't use. Also, since we're going off of this, because I did play the Exodia thing not too long ago. In fact, I was actually working on a build before this even came out. But even Spellbook of Secrets, you can actually Secrets go into this. That's another spell. Then this is another spell, obviously, and you can go ahead and you just send it to the graveyard. And you can go ahead and just draw. So like it gives you extra utility with your Spellbook of Knowledge, because you can only activate 1 of them per turn anyways. And again, if you have other cards where you can't activate more than 1 of them per turn. But yeah, thank you Magus for this build. I thought this card was hilarious. Like, yeah, like I said, give him Cup of Face. But I was actually looking at another Exodia build. There are other cards I just wanted to mention. If you wanted to try to mix them up in here, there was technically Jarrell Winston a few years back did run a build with Hope for Escape. So if you want to take some damage, this could be another option. Again, this is more for this kind of a build. It's not going to be an FTK build, but I have seen it, so I'm just going to mention it because this whole video is kind of for Exodia in general. This one's more of a stall build, but I also wanted to mention Ledger of Ledger main. This is a newer card. If you want to run Spell Mining Cave also, you can definitely run Spell Mining Cave in this deck as well. But Seer's Passbook, if you want to run a stall build, this could be excellent for you. So you banish 3 cards, you have to wait 3, and on the 3rd standby phase, you gotta wait a long time, but it definitely is pretty plus if you want to go for that build. Now there is also another way to play it. This one's a little bit crazy too. It's almost reminds me of the Danger Engine, but what you're really trying to utilize with this particular Exodia build is actually Saryuja again. And what you're trying to do is, Venus is a 1-card Saryuja. I mean, it'll get you the shine balls regardless if you draw them or not. This card will instantly let you go into it. These are other options once again. If you wanted to go for another way to make Saryuja, if you didn't happen to have the dangers, or maybe you just want more ways to go for Saryuja. It is, again, just another like one card Exodia. And then there was this Neospatian build of Exodia, which I did cover, which I'm going to link that video down below. This one's kind of more complex, and I think that I'm just going to let that video serve its purpose, but there's other ways to play Exodia in course 2019. But I really like this build too. This one is more focused on the Legendary Incarnate. Obviously, this whole video was to show off the new one, but I just wanted to make this video about all of the different builds as well. So this is the build I was talking about with Sounder Monk. You got Lure of Darkness. You can just banish this card. It's not that big of a deal. And then we got 3 copies of Lures, and then pretty much the difference is also Foolish Burial Goods, which you can Foolish Burial Goods the Metal Foes Fusion, then you can put it back into the deck and draw 1 card. So this basically acts kind of as an upstart goblin, but it also just puts itself in the graveyard so you have another spell. Because remember, you need to be banishing spells with your Treasure Panda effect to be able to go off, and that just kind of helps out with the plays. The only thing that really hurts this deck, honestly, is some of the hand traps. That's why there's Triple Call by the Grave. But this is just another build of Exodia that you guys can go ahead and try out. I think the Dangers will be probably the most consistent way to actually play. But anyways, yeah, there it is, guys. A few different Exodia builds. Let me know which one you guys like the most. But obviously, with true Exodia, a lot of people will be testing out a bunch of different builds. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell so you don't miss out on new crazy different Yu-Gi-Oh decks like the new true Exodia. And if you guys got any replays or any suggestions for this deck, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, send in some replays if you'd like to of any other weird Exodia builds. I just love seeing how people try to pull off FTKs. If you really wanted to pull off the FTK, because I know someone's going to be like, well, it's technically, you have to wait 1 turn. Like, by the time your opponent's turn starts, you game them. To me, it's an FTK. But if you really, really wanted to pull that off, you can, however, run this other card that lets you activate 1 trap card. So if you really want to argue that, just throw in the Temple of the Kings, slam it down, activate the card, just special summon it, and then you'll pull off the FTK. Alright, now that's out of the way. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out, and have a good one.